Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to Transit Talk NYC. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. And today we are back with the editing videos, editing New York City subway trains. We did two videos like this in the past. We edited the R142 in two different ways. If you guys don't know, I'm going to catch you guys and put you guys back up on the speed. Method 1 involves you to take a picture of a blank display and download the associated font for that train and type it in. And then method 2 is a little more tricky. Method 2 involves you to zoom in and then select and rearrange everything until you make it to whatever you want. And today we're going to be doing method 1 of the R46 train. So let's get into it. Now, in the R142 video where I did method 1, I did have a picture of a 6 train and I told you guys that I basically edited the 6 out and then made it blank. And then in the video, I typed in there and it made it a R142 train, but it didn't really show you guys how to do it. So I have a picture of a R46C train. I am going to edit this picture, get rid of the C, get rid of all this text, and we're going to edit it into an R46J train. That's what we're going to do for today's video. So to start off, first thing what you want to do is you basically want to cover everything up. I didn't show this in the R142 method 1. So a lot of you are probably confused, but you guys are going to see how exactly I did that. So first thing what you want to do is you want to zoom in, and basically what you want to do is select some of the yellow and basically cover everything up. Now if this was method 2, then I would go straight to selecting these little squares, and then I would just copy and just paste those squares, and then as I can see I can pretty much make it whatever I want. But we aren't doing that for today's video. We're doing method 1. We're going to do R46 method 2 in the future, but for now we're just going to go on and do method 1. And now first thing, we're going to select some of that yellow. I'm going to make a new layer. New layer is made, it's called layer 2 and made that by default. What we're going to do is going to paste it. Now as you guys can see, it is kind of, the color is a little off. The middle is a little darker compared to around here, and that's perfectly fine. All you really need to do is just sort of rotate it and fix it up, move it up there, make sure you get all the corners. I know the light, the reflection of the light, if I go out real quick, the reflection of the light is kind of in the way, but that's perfectly fine. We ain't gotta worry about that, everybody. Alright guys, now we are done. If you guys are paying attention, I did end up just copying from over here and stretching it, because it wasn't really looking all that great in my opinion. I know I did tell you guys not to stretch it because the pixels are going to start showing up, but honestly you can't really see anything. So yeah. Alright, now what we're going to do is going to head on over here and basically cover up all of these other letters, and then when all that is covered up, we can now start typing. I don't think everything to speed this up, so as you guys can see, just completely covers up the letter. And I'm going to try and change the saturation or something, or maybe the darkness, because now over here it's definitely looking a little funny to say. Okay, the colors are looking a little weird, my colors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything over here in layer 2 because my colors are just looking a little weird looking. So we're gonna go to brightness and contrast. Let me see if this will try to correct that. Let me see what that's doing. Oh no, that's not good at all. Okay, let me see brightness tab. Brightness seems to be helping a little bit. We got to decrease this by like a very small amount. Okay, I think that's good. It looks fine over here, but when you head over here, you could definitely see each square. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our dropper tool. We're gonna select from the background layer, right? And then we're just gonna like cover it up, I guess. Let me zoom out, see how that looks. I think it looks pretty good. Or one better thing to do is to just basically select this entire bar right here. There we go. Instead of fussing to change the color, let me merge the layers down. So we're gonna merge the layers down, okay? Because the letters were still there. It's just that things were just kind of blocking them. So what we're gonna do is just gonna select, cover all these colors up, or these squares. As you can kind of see them, they're kind of showing up like a sort of dark yellow color. Let's zoom out. And there we go. I think that looks better. Alright guys, now we're going to compare real quick. This is what I just did. And then this is the picture before. Looks pretty good in my opinion. Now, the reason why I reopened the original picture is because now we're ready to type. Now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our little dropper tool to select some of this color. Let's just select a good color. I think that looks great. And now we're going to go over here to our blank R46 that we just made. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to get our R46 font. Okay, there it is. It's called NYCTA R46. And there you go, guys. As you can see, if we just type real quick, we can kind of see. So what the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our little J emblem right there. I'm actually going to select a different sample. I didn't like the one I selected. I think that looks good. I don't know, I just didn't like that one. Okay, so we're gonna put our J right there. Now as you can see, it is pretty small and looks a little weird. Don't worry guys, we are going to correct all of this in the future or just afterward. I think we're gonna make this size 135th Street. We're definitely gonna have to look at real R46s and then of course just decide based on those. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of stretch this out because it doesn't really fit. I think that looks good already. Let me just stretch it a little more. I think that looks good. I'll definitely give it a little rotate because the picture's a little slanted. Give it a little rotate, okay, and then we'll zoom out. Zoom out. Let me look at the C. Let me zoom out of here. Okay, so it is definitely more. That's very interesting. There's actually less space in between all these squares. So I am going to correct all of that. We're going to speed this up, but of course you guys don't have to do this. Alright everybody, I did sort of squeeze them together a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now of course that color is a little darker and looks kind of funny. It isn't really one straight color. If we zoom in here, it's just one color, but if you go over here, it is a mixture of a bunch of other colors, but that's fine. And of course we are going to give it a little glow. But the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna type our destination. Where is this J train going, guys? Where is this J train going? This J train is going to Jamaica Center. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type all of that in. I think it would usually show CTR for center. Ooh, 72 was just the perfect size for this. Let me go over here and then go to the original so I can sort of compare and contrast. 72 is just a weeny bit too big, so we're gonna go to that like 68. There's definitely gonna have to be some squashing and stretching going on. And let me look at the spacing in between the Jamaica and center, because I want to make sure. Nah, it should be a little bit closer together. Okay, so we're done with the text. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of decrease the space in between these two, because I don't think in the real R46 they're gonna be that spaced apart, and there is gonna have to be some stretching going on here. I know I said don't stretch, but I need to make this look just like the real R46. Okay, and then maybe I'll stretch it this way. I think that looks good. And then we'll put it right here. Those white lines are definitely messing with me a little bit, because it's making me think I shouldn't go over them, but I don't really care that much. I know I'm a little picky, but I'm not really going to be picky today. And we are going to rotate this by a little bit. We're going to pay attention to the bottom of the screen, because that's telling me how much it's going to be, the angle. I wish I can type in a number. I think 32 looks good. Could be more. 32 might even be too much. That is crazy. Okay, we went to 21. Let me see if 21 looks alright. I still want like a number between 1 and like 16. That's negative. Oh man, this sucks. Okay, so we managed to get a 0.10 degree angle. Took me a long time, but we did get that. Now we're gonna zoom out and everything looks alright. Everything looks fine. We're gonna compare and contrast. Only difference is the colors of the thing. But now it's color time. Last step is color time. Now one thing is that it looks kind of flat. That's the thing, and it's just one straight color. So what I'm gonna try to do, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to, where is it? Add noise. Okay, so we added a little bit of noise. If we slide this middle one over, it sort of adds a little rainbow and stuff. I'll put that at 0. I don't really like that. And coverage, I put that at 100 because I want it to cover everything. And then this intensity one, we'll put this, you don't really want it that much. Put that to like 33. Let this finish real quick. If you zoom out, now if you zoom out, you can't really tell anything, but the point is of adding the noise is so it doesn't really look that much digital. it doesn't look digital and it blends in with the rest of the picture. There's a bunch of extra colors mixed in there, and I think that's what we want. And if you use our colorize tool, but basically you just select the color and then you put the radius, then you basically move it around and then it just changes colors for you, and that's basically it. But now we can use this tool and sort of, because you added grain, we can kind of take advantage of this tool and just basically apply it everywhere. Okay, if we zoom out, I think it looks pretty good. It's the little things that do matter. If you do zoom in, you can kind of see it, but if you zoom out, it isn't really that noticeable. And to finish it all off, I think it needs a little contrast boost. If we go back to 0, you can see what it looked like there. Then we're just gonna increase it to like 10. Okay, and of course, compare and contrast with the real R46. Let's zoom out real quick. I notice here is a little fant, if that's the correct terminology. You can kind of see that it's a little fant on this part of the display. So we're gonna go ahead and mimic that real quick. All I gotta do is just select this part. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut it from this layer, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new layer. Now if you paste, it's gonna jump right back to where it was, because you're pasting it on a picture that's the same size as the picture that it was on. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the layer that only has the Jamaica center there. Click on our little wrench. Alright, layer 3. That's the layer 3 settings. And what we can do is, as you guys can see, we can make that less opaque or more opaque, but just decrease that by a little bit just to mimic the real R46. So now if we go over here, there we go. Alright guys, so we are now done. So what we're going to do is we're going to merge all the layers down. All we have to do is just click, click, and click, so we can save it to a picture file, and then boom, that's this episode. We just edited an R46 to a J train, and it was a C train. We did cover it up. I just wanted to show you guys how I covered all the other letters and stuff up. But that has been episode number 3 of how to edit New York City subway trains. In the next part, we are going to be going back to this same picture, and instead of typing it, we are instead going to select and rearrange all of these squares right here. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that bell, so you guys can know when that video is going to be up. But for now, this has been Transit Talk. Thank you all for tuning in on Tuesdays. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you guys in the next one.